Hi, and welcome to Science Nutshell. This week we're talking to Dr. Eriksen about his recent research on plastic pollution in the world's oceans. Thank you again for coming and joining us. And if you wouldn't mind just describing and explaining your research in 3 minutes or less.
Well, the research is very simple. We drag nets across the ocean surface in over 1,500 points around the globe. There was 9 scientists doing this, and we found that an estimated 269,000 metric tons of plastic is in the world's oceans, and it's coming from 5.25 trillion particles. This is the first global estimate of all plastics of all sizes in all oceans. What was really surprising to us is that the majority of these particles are actually microplastics, smaller than a grain of rice. That is, less than 5 millimeters in size. What it does, it gives us a new way to look at plastic trash in the world's oceans. What we thought were garbage patches really are clouds of microplastic waste. And it's not just on the surface. It's in 3 dimensions, vertically and across the surface. Throughout the entire oceans, we're now finding microplastics on the ocean floor, in ice cores, beaches worldwide, and inside hundreds of organisms, especially filter feeders that filter out seawater. What we discovered is that plastics impact the entire marine ecosystem. And we should look at it more as clouds of plastics, much like the way we look at air pollution over cities. And that helps us think about solutions to the problem, that we shouldn't really look at this as a post-consumer fix, go out and get a net and clean up microplastic particles. What makes sense is source reduction. When we cleaned up air pollution, we thought that, fixing car mufflers, exhaust systems, and power plant exhaust was a solution, and it worked. For plastics, the same way. We must focus on reducing the emissions from land, and that means better products and better waste management strategies.
That's brilliant, thank you. It's a bit scary, the sort of these tiny little particles are all getting into fishes and things and other organisms. I've just suddenly remembered, I had read recently about the microbeads in face washes. Is that a problem? The plastic microbeads?
Yes, actually, that was based on research that we had. Yes, we did research 1 year ago. We found microbeads in the Great Lakes of North America, and we were doing the similar studies in the lakes as in the ocean, dragging a net, and we found these small plastic beads, and they matched the same color, size, texture, and composition as microbeads in facial scrubs and in toothpaste. We've actually heard from lots of dentists that are finding toothpaste stuck between people's teeth. So I can tell you that's a very weird find. They are microplastic, and our waste treatment plants are not capturing microbeads, and like any microplastics, they absorb toxins along the way. They get into fish, and they come back to harm us by polluting the marine life we harvest from the oceans to feed the world.
Oh, it's quite worrying, really, that it's a big cycle and it's not really going to stop, really. So the next question was, what can we do, would you suggest, to improve it?
Well, I think that the big solutions are we need to stop plastic trash from the source. We cannot go to the ocean and do ocean cleanup strategies. That's not the way to approach this. We must approach this by working with companies and trying to unravel that single-use throwaway mentality. What we know now in the oceans is that the majority of trash out there, trillions of particles, are microplastic, and they're so laden with toxins or hazardous waste. Knowing that, we must focus on making smarter products. That means products that are truly recyclable. If you can't get your product back from the customer, then the recycling is not going to happen. So better products, but also better waste management schemes. That means more trash bins, better ways of recovering plastics from the public. That's where the solution lies.
Oh, that's really interesting. So really, as a consumer, you should look for things that are fully recyclable and stay away from things that have got microplastic beads in, basically.
Yes, I think what you can do today is look at your grocery list. When you go to the market to buy groceries, think of not just the food you're purchasing, but the packaging. the container, the packaging, and think, is this, I want this food, but is the packaging recyclable? Will my community take back this wrapping, the lids, the straws? And if not, then choose an alternative. So I think by zero wasting your own household is a good way to approach solutions.
Oh, that's really interesting. And thank you very much. Yeah, that was really, really good. And if anyone wants to read the paper, it's on PLOS ONE, and the link is going to be below this video. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Bye.
My pleasure. Thank you.